Oh boy, is it cleared up. So when I started the time lapse, basically, hey, good morning, guys. It is another morning, and it is another opportunity to go and do our time lapses. So here we are, testing. Oh, okay, wait a second. I need to fix the. Good morning, and it is another morning for another walk to do another time lapse. And from our previous experience, I thought I'd do another another time lapse test with a D850, and I want to talk about a few things that you should always have prepared before you do a time lapse. So let's talk about first what you need. Well, first you need a camera that can do time lapse. Either you need an intervalometer, 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 something like that, right? So basically what this does is it has a timer and it takes a photo. Now you can use an external one or an internal one for something like astrophotography time lapses. From day to night, you definitely need an external one for the Nikon system. I have a separate one, but today I'm going to use the internal one, the D850 and the Z9, Z9. They have extra internal intervalometers that basically can take a photo, but you can't actually make changes to the photo settings while the photo is taking place. So while basically, say you have a photo that is being taken and it takes about 30, I would say it's like, takes 5 seconds to do the photo, to take the photo. It's like a 5-second exposure, so you can't actually change any of the settings if you're using the internal intervalometer. If you use an external one, basically you can use like a, well, I've got an app here, it's called the DSLR app, what is it called, the QDSLR. It's an Android app that I use to do the photos and to control settings for day to night time lapses. Because we're doing another morning one, I'll probably do the same thing. So make sure if you've got that, I've got a phone, so with that app, so make sure you got that charged. Your tripod, there have been times where I've gone out and I've brought the tripod, but I've forgotten like the bottom clip for the D850. And what else? What else do you need? You need a good location. So here, because I'm just experimenting and doing the time lapse, basically when I go out, I'm just testing in the local area. It's not too bad, so it doesn't really matter too much. I think I found a really nice spot here across from a bridge, so we'll try to catch the sunrise with the clouds. So we've got a good morning for that. So we'll take maybe about half an hour to an hour to do the actual time lapse photos. So let's get set up here, guys. We're on the bridge now, so let's get it set up and get it rolling. So we just got here to our spot. We have a beautiful moon on this side, on the west, west side. On the east side, we're gonna have the sunrise. So I'm just gonna look from the north down to the south. So maybe at 24 millimeters, we can capture everything. So I've actually brought the D850 with the standard like 24 to 120, and I think capturing the kind of like the wide view would probably be the way to go at 24 millimeters. I think that should give us like some of the moon in the corner as it sets, and also the cloud cover as it changes color. So I'm gonna just set everything up here and then show you guys what the setup looks like, and we'll get rolling. So we have the D850 set up. I have gone through a number of different positions to check whether it's exactly what I want when it comes to the view. It's a little bit raised from the actual floor here, from the ground. There's a lot of flat plains, and then it's all clouds. And I think it's still probably I still need to move it a little bit to the right here. It is a lot of flat area, and basically I can get the east and west side both in the picture at 24mm. I think I would have preferred, say, 20. You know, I could have brought the 20mm. Sorry, 16 to 35 and done it at 20. Or I could have brought the Z9, but look, I'm enjoying the D850 for now to do the time lapses. All the video gear is connected to the Z9, so got the D850 here. Gonna get that started. So look, this is the kind of shot that we've got at the moment. So I think I need to get another tripod when I go on these walks. I've noticed people that do vlogs like this, they usually have another tripod that they can stick the something like this, this DJI the RS3 Mini on top of that tripod, and then actually talk to it, so I can actually do two things at once. Because at the moment I need to kind of like rotate it, and then the mic's not facing me. So, but anyway, I could have done like a wireless mic also instead of this one here, which is like the onboard mic. So that's something to think about, right? So I could definitely do I've got the Rode Wireless Go mic set with nice lavs, so why not just connect it to this camera here? Anyway, I digress. Let's have a look at the D850 here. Alright, so here we have the D850. It's set up on the flat plane that we discussed. So I've set it up to take a photo and just to check the exposure here, and I'll adjust the exposure to start before actually kicking it off into the full interval shooting mode. So we'll go to menu now that I've got it mostly set up, and we'll set it up. We'll set up the location, so it's actually pointing at the right point. And in shooting display mode, you go into further up here. Oh, wrong menu. So it's interval shooting mode. And essentially we just set up the settings for the time. How many shots we want. If we want 10 seconds at 25 frames a second, we go 250. And off we go. Hey guys, well, it's gotten a bit windy, but oh boy, has it cleared up. So when I started the time lapse, basically the moon had just been covered up, so it disappeared, and I was kind of left with this kind of grayish cloud cover, and I was wondering whether it would clear out and the sun would be visible and you'd get to see some of the blue skies. And it did. There was a bit of a dramatic cleared up quite dramatically. Looks beautiful now. And just right at the end, I think that looking at it now, there's 7 frames left. So we're going to finish up here. We're going to pack up, get back to the studio, and talk a little bit more about, you know, how this went, and preparing for I guess the next round of time lapses. So that would include, you know, going out for site visits and seeing where we could actually get a good view. I know I mentioned it a few times that there's a hill here we could use. Well, and actually I noticed there's quite an opening in the sky there. Catch this on the 30. There it is. Opened up quite a bit there. But yeah, so basically, yeah, we're gonna wrap up, pack up, and get back to the studio. Okay, I'll see you back at the studio. Hey guys, so here we are back at the studio, and we're all pretty much set up. So it took a few days for me to get the time to sit down and do this time lapse, and it turned out really well. I'm working on it now. I've got a Lightroom Classic here opened up, and I have LR time lapse opened up. I'm just working through it. So just to summarize before we have a look at the final result, about really what you need to have prepared before you do go out and do a time lapse. So obviously, first you have a location set, a time set. You know, have fuel in your car and get all that ready. and have all of the clothing that you need for the weather conditions. So that's kind of like the prep stuff. But when it comes to the camera equipment, okay, make sure you have enough power with the camera battery, cameras charged, and batteries. Have a spare one. 2, make sure you have your lens set when you're doing a time lapse. Have your lens set to manual. Also, when you are heading off, if you've got an intervalometer, then make sure that it has charge and that it is going to work with your camera. Like I said, I normally use like a intervalometer inside the camera, but you could have a secondary one, which I use also for time lapses where I need to kind of control the fidelity for different settings. And I think it's here. I'll just pull it out. Intervalometer. It is the Nikon MC36, and I use it. It connects directly to the. I'm not sure the name of the port, but it's not expensive. Really good, and it works really well. And it's an official Nikon product. So yeah, make sure it's charged. Got batteries. If you're using like I've got the Q DSLR dashboard, and that I use to control settings on the camera so it doesn't shake. And make sure you get your tripod. I forgot my tripod once, and that sucked. Actually went and got the car and realized I didn't have the tripod halfway there on one of my experiments. Have the tripod and make sure you've got an adventurous spirit at the end. Have fun, and I'm gonna finish this up and we'll watch it at the end of this video. So guys, thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing you the next one. I have plenty of camera stuff coming up and probably some personal things that I want to talk about. You know, current world events, personal stuff, same thing, you know. So we'll talk about that in the next episode, and then we'll also get started on location scouting different places for really nice long time lapse for the morning or evening, depending on what we choose. But guys, I'll see you in the next episode. Thanks for sticking around, and catch you next time. Bye.